Steve, what do you have for us?
Following Thursday's traumatic meltdown between Artie and Sal and Richard, a peace initiative of sorts. FuckYouArtieLang.com suspending operations. We need more love and less hate, the creator of the website says. The creator of FuckYouArtieLang.com saying he's willing to put his provocative site back up if the guys get along again.
It is interesting, even during the breaks when Richard comes in here to tell me stuff, Artie keeps his distance.
Really?
There is a real rift.
Yeah.
It's very genuine, and it's very upsetting. Right, Art?
Shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame. It is. I'm so
Not
sorry.
since Abbott stopped talking to Costello.
Abbott and Costello did stop speaking, didn't they?
Apparently they hated each other.
And they continue to work together, though, right?
They're way more professional than me and Richard.
Right. Well,
Yeah, no, there is. I mean, look, all joking aside, and I saw Sal in the coffee room before, and I didn't look at him, he didn't look at me.
all right. Fair enough. Sorry it has to be uncomfortable. Was it uncomfortable?
I mean, it's nothing that can't be dealt with. You know, it's fine. He does what he does. I do what I do. Quite frankly, neither one of us does much.
I wonder what will happen if you pass each other in the hall. You know how sometimes you accidentally say hi?
Yeah.
Like you might go hi and then realize, oh, I'm not supposed to say hi to
That
him.
almost happened.
Well,
Right.
that is exactly what would happen to me when I was doing that kind of thing. Eventually, you sort of forget your moratorium on speaking, and you see the person, you just automatically say hi.
What I do is to combat that is I say an extra big hello to other people.
So they
You
understand.
do have to think about it, though.
Like I give Sal nothing, then I go, "Hey, Benji."
That's gotta hurt. If Sal was lying in the vending machine room,
Right.
bleeding,
Right.
and you were in there buying some chocolate chip cookies or something,
Right.
would you call an ambulance or would you just step over his body? And
I'd call an ambulance.
You would?
Absolutely.
All right.
Sure.
Uh-oh, Sal is coming in. Artie, I'm going to ask you not to look over in his direction.
No, I did see Artie, and I impulsively, I said, hey. And Artie didn't say hey back, but his eyes lit up a little bit, and then we just both turned
All
away.
right. Okay, so that's how it was. So you forgot and said hello.
Not that I forgot. I meant my hello, and I hope everything goes well in Artie's life, and that's it.
Will you continue to say hello to Artie when you see him in the halls?
I respect Artie, and I would continue to say hello, and it's up to him. Whatever he wants to do back, it's up to him.
I heard a rumor, and tell me if it's true, that your wife feels sorrier for Artie in this than you.
That's true.
What does that mean?
I went home, I explained it. We had dinner, and she said that, you know, how good Artie's been to you. I said, yeah, I know. I go, there was a lot. I fucked up because I've had so much shit festering inside of me, and instead of addressing it to Artie, I felt like Artie was attacking me professionally. So if you notice, the rips I gave him were his profession, his accomplishments.
Right. So your wife
So
decided...
she said, you stupid asshole. She goes, why don't you pull Artie aside? He's always helped you. And I said, I know. I go, we had a good relationship. She goes, you know, he's got drug issues. You know, he's got weight issues. You had him at the point where he was ready to have a heart attack. God forbid he does something over the weekend. She goes, how could you live with yourself? And I was just like, Christine, I can't believe I couldn't live with myself. I go, God forbid that happens, but I hope that's not the case. So
Has your wife ever sided with you?
No, she feels for Artie, and she hopes that personally that Artie gets the help that he needs personally for himself.
But it's got to aggravate you that Artie, your wife is on Artie's side in this.
Well, when my wife explained that, I said, I get your point, and I hope that never gets to that point where Artie just totally self-implodes. But I said, the issue with me
Artie,
was,
you got to go home and do something to yourself, and then Sal will feel guilty the rest of the
Wait, you hurt yourself?
Oh, you're telling Artie to go ahead with
No,
something
he
like
knows I'm
No.
joking.
So,
do you know I'm
Terrible.
joking? Don't do anything.
Not
to me.
really.
Oh. He didn't know.
Terrible.
Artie, don't do anything.
If I did anything, it wouldn't be. It would. I mean, it would be.
Sal's complimenting himself by saying that you would do
No,
something.
I'm just saying. Don't. If something happens, don't feel guilty.
no,
That you
I
shouldn't
hope
feel
so.
guilty.
I hope nothing ever happens. But anyway, my wife loves Artie, and she hopes that, you know, she hopes that we
She
get
loves
along.
Artie more than you.
I
No.
think your wife would leave you and become Artie's wife, and you know she would become his companion over you.
Well, no offense, Artie, but she's done worse to me already. You know, this is definitely Artie's definitely
That
a step.
would be a step up.
Yes, definitely a step up.
You would rather she be with Artie than the emotional friend.
If it means Artie can say hello to me in the hallway, sure.
You would give your wife over.
Yes,
to her.
I'll hand
that's,
it over.
That's something to think about, Artie.
So it's something.
All right, Sal, thank you. And obviously an uncomfortable moment has been documented here on the show between you and Artie, seeing each other in the halls. And
Well,
I again, it's not. I'll be dead honest with you. It's like after everything Sal said,
Right.
how could I ever I don't know. How could I ever take a compliment from him, a nice gesture from him? I just know what he really feels now.
Right, because it would feel fake to you.
Yes, and that's a very difficult, awkward thing.
I understand, Artie.
You got the look on your face when you were saying all that shit was very real. And what do you want me to do? So if that's how you feel, then how could we have any sort of relationship?
That's a good point, but it's not how it's not really how I feel. I felt like here's how I feel. I felt like I was personally attacked on my work, not on the joke, the ball breaking stuff, but on a professional level, I felt I was attacked. So when I threw it in your face, I shouldn't have kept it all in. That stuff's not true. Because I do admire and love everything that you do, and I always say that you're funny.
No, but
I'm thinking I try to attack you in a way where I felt I was being attacked. Just on a professional level.
You were trying to get at him the way you felt you were being asked.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it doesn't hold up. No matter what I say, the truth of the matter is that's not true. You know your success, your parameters of success versus me.
Sal, listen. You should never apologize for your opinion. It's
not my opinion.
You have your opinion, and I got to tell you. I have never felt that Sal ever respected what I did here. He said it on the air once in the wrap-up show. He said the biggest jump the shark moment in the history of the show is when I came on here.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever. I would not. That doesn't sound like my cadence.
But then you backtrack and you're like, but whatever. You win people over. I never felt like you were a fan of mine, which is fine. That's your opinion, but now it's on such an extreme level to where I don't feel we could work together properly. I don't feel comfortable giving you advice, and I don't feel comfortable getting advice from you.
But the funny thing is that I am a huge fan of Artie, and me and Artie have had really
Why is
great.
that? Why? What proof is there of that?
You're hilarious on the show.
And I don't need you to be a fan of mine.
Okay,
I just need you to be honest with me.
Okay, here's the honesty. I've talked to you a tremendous amounts of time off the air. You've given me such great advice, and I think me and we've spoken about families, we've spoken about personal issues, we've spoken about the business, and we have gotten along great. When we're on the road together, we get along great. And I always make sure. I said, Artie, whatever you need, whatever I can do, even if it's running an errand, which I've done for Artie happily. Whatever it takes, because Artie's good.
I can see there's a lot of hard feelings.
The thing is that the point I'm trying to make is that I know there is a real relationship that we have. And like in a dysfunctional family, I blew up, Artie blew up, and I feel bad. And
I must tell you,
I know. You don't have to tell me.
Sometimes these dysfunctional families break up. It's because of
right. And
sometimes you got to think before you speak.
You're right. You definitely do. And I'm recognizing my faults. And that's basically it. I blew up. I felt like I was being personally attacked. I held it in, and I gave it back, and it turned to an explosion.
But now things are really bad.
I just wasn't aware of me attacking you.
That's why. That's where when my wife called me an idiot, it's me always holding it in. It's a combination of every time. Like I thought, like you would play a bit. It's like, well, those guys have the mentality of a third grader. Those guys are but I'm saying, that we took that as that's a personal issue with us. You call me a raccoon-eyed fag, that doesn't bother me. But for some reason, we're working so hard on the show, it bothers us when we feel that our personal work.
I can see that you've
and that's where I should have. Yes. I wish I would have spoken to Artie personally about it. I really did.
All right, thank you. Well, Sal, it seems to me that nothing has changed. This is a very bad scene.
It's sad.
If I was you, I'd go talk to Jason about this and talk about Artie behind his back, but that's just me.
That's my partner. He's behind the back. I'm in front. I'm face to face.
Well, Sal, I'm sorry.
Whatever it means.
All right.
All right. Well, good luck to everybody.
All right. Good luck, and thank you. All right. Sal's very honest.
We all get along. We all have problems.
Right.
It got a little bit out of control, and I just hope it all works out again. I mean, I'm not here. I don't want to be in a fight with people. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but do you think this fight is going to... Can you mend these fences is what I'm saying. It appears like Artie's old school. He doesn't take...
Well, that's fine. Listen to me. I basically said what I had to say. I expressed how I feel about Artie. And, you know, I can only change my, you know, I can't change Artie, you know, so, but I respect Artie's decision, you know. I just hope everything goes well with him.
Well, he questions your sincerity. Are you really, truly being sincere about this?
No, I'm not. All right, there you go. I'm not being sincere. Anything else? What type of question is that?
Well, it's a focal point of the rift between you guys.
So what am I doing? I spent 25 minutes on the radio, and then you ask me if I'm being sincere. What's the point if I'm not going to be sincere? Why am I doing that? Why am I going on there?
I'm trying to gauge your sincerity.
How would you? I don't know what gauge it.
Well, now in one instance you're on the air, one instance you're off the air.
Well, I'm on the air because it came up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, so I'm trying to gauge you off the air.
Am I sincere? But I'm sitting here and I'm on the air and I'm explaining myself and I'm explaining my faults. And I'm coming back to sit down, and I'm telling you I wish him well. And then you say, but are you being sincere?
Well, there's other factors.
I know there's other factors, but what type of question is that?
I'm trying to get you to look
like you're making absolutely no sense, Greg.
I'm making perfect sense. No, you're the one. You're just lashing out at me because you're in a bad mood.
I'm not. No, I'm just saying like I just don't.
I'm saying on the air, it's easy to say you're sincere and to appeal because there's a bunch of listeners. But now on the hallway,
okay, so there's the answer.
I'm trying to catch to see if perhaps maybe you're trying to pull one over on the air. That's all I'm trying to do.
Put the camera over here. Let's wait all day to see if I'm going to be in. Of course I'm being sincere, Greg. Greg, do you think I'm being sincere? Do you?
Now I do.
All right. Well, there you go. I'm being sincere.
Okay.
But I mean, come on. You know.
Don't lash out at me, man.
I'm not lashing. I love you.
I don't think that's that terrible of a question.
I just think it's so crazy. You know what it is? It's
Sincerity's been the focal point of your argument.
What else can I do? I was honest about how I felt. I was honest about keeping everything inside of me. I was honest about not addressing it to him personally, so I wouldn't blow up and put it in his face. I was honest about all of that. And what happens in the end? Who loses? There's tension in the air. There's there's fights left and right. Richard's not talking to Jason. Artie's not talking to Richard. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to work in that type of work environment? Do you think I wasn't being sincere when I said I should have addressed it differently?
Do you think it's fair to say, though, there's been times when you've said something on the air, then come out here and told me that you were full of shit?
Oh, yeah, but that's not this issue, and I've said that a billion times.
Right, so
it's called ball breaking. When you're breaking balls, you're not being serious. You're breaking balls.
So it's not a crazy idea for me to ask you that again.
No,
even though it's a more serious issue.
I'm saying after all this, after 3 days of this that we went through, after 3 days of it,
you're saying you can't tell by this point that I'm being sincere.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's my point.
Well, I was just covering all angles, but I understand.
Listen, you're a good Greg. I love you to death. I mean, but I'm saying I'm just saying that at this point where I'm just
saying don't ask stupid questions, man.
You don't ask stupid questions. I'm just like, at this point, do you really have to question the sincerity? If you do, then
1995's last time I saw him or heard from him.
If you do, then I have to question myself.
One of the last times.
Okay.
Well,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not blaming. If it's at a point now after all that, and you still have to say you're Sal being sincere, then I need some fucking therapy. Then I need to check myself, because if I still can't get the point across, then I'm really fucked in the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I built a reputation to that degree,
we went to see Interview with the Vampire instead.
Then I'm fucked.
It's one of my greatest.
Then I'm really fucking totally demented.
I think over time this will heal itself.
I hope so. Like I said, I will always give Artie the respect that he deserves, and I will always say hello to Artie.
And you can only hope that he'll come around eventually.
That's exactly right. And I wish him very, very well.
I sincerely wish you well, too.
I sincerely wish everybody well as well.
Okay. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Steve.
And page 69, Jason and Will reporting Richard Christie is despondent over the end of his month-long nationwide celebration of Halloween. Richard apparently nearly in tears over the end of his favorite holiday for this year. Richard confiding in Will Murray that he's more upset over the end of the Halloween season than he is about his bitter confrontation with Artie Lang last week.
Richard is genuinely odd. I mean, there was this weird story I heard. First of all, I'll tell you this. On Lotus Notes, Tracy Millman has pictures of Richard's apartment. I should put these on howardstern.com. In fact, I will.
Where did Tracy get the picture?
I don't know where Tracy got them. Where did Tracy get them?
I think they were all over there for something.
his toilet and his bathroom floor, and it's a filthy pigs. I've never seen.
That's why I was asking what it smelled like in his apartment, because I can't imagine it being clean.
These pictures didn't have any smell-o-vision, but they certainly looked weird. And then I heard that weird story. Richard had a really good friend. How long ago was this?
This was in 1995, the last time I saw him or heard from him.
Yeah, he hasn't
Best
seen him.
friend in Missouri.
And the last time you saw him is when you went to see Interview with the Vampire with him?
One of the last times. Well, that was like the best day I remember ever having with this friend, like this dear friend. We went to see, it was a day at work. They always take a day off for deer season, and I was an electrician with this friend of mine. They take off at noon at the first day of deer season every year, and me and him were the only people that weren't hunters, so we went to see Interview with the Vampire instead, and it's one of my greatest memories ever.
Right, you with this friend. So he loses track of the friend. The friend tracks Richard down.
It was one of, I nearly cried when I opened I actually cried when I saw the email. I can almost cry thinking about it now, that my friend, I thought he had passed away because I hadn't heard from him for like 12 years. And I was just so worried that something had happened to him, and he emailed me about 3 weeks ago.
You're crying now.
What happened that you weren't in touch with him?
He just moved away to like St. Thomas.
Why are you crying?
Because he was just such a dear friend. And
but he's alive,
not dead.
He's alive.
I thought he was.
Why
like,
did
it
you,
makes
why
me
did you,
so sad to think about losing touch.
How did you
with
lose
people.
touch? Why don't you just get...
Because he didn't have a phone number I could call there. He
really loved this guy.
Yeah, he's like one of my dearest friends ever.
So anyway, listen to this. So Richard rediscovers this friend somehow.
Yeah.
You should know the first time they saw Interview with the Vampire was November 11th,
1994.
1994.
The day it was released.
So listen to what him and the friend now. Where's the friend live? He's far away.
He's in Arizona now.
They're gonna this weekend, I guess.
So this November 11th.
This November 11th,
Sunday.
on their anniversary of seeing Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
Richard's going to put in his DVD player Interview with the Vampire. His friend in Arizona is going to put the Interview with the Vampire on his DVD. They're going to start it simultaneously and text message each other during Interview with the Vampire and call each other.
Wow.
Is that so weird?
Right. Now, let me explain
This is
something.
a guy, right?
Explain this. I know you.
This is where my edict not to acknowledge Richard is affecting the show. Because almost like Babe Ruth calling his shot to center field,
Right.
I guarantee I could be funny right now.
You mean when Richard said, "Is this weird?" You could have had a funny retort. Like,
Yeah,
let's say you were talking. Let's say you were talking.
But no, I can't.
And Richard goes, "Is this weird?" What would you have said if were you talking to him?
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's affecting the show.
Whisper it to me so I know. I want to know what I'm missing.
Just because pretend it's somebody else saying
Yeah,
it.
pretend I'm not here.
Who else would say that?
No,
Well,
that is
I have
so-
a prediction. Fuck the comedy. I have a prediction.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That I think, and I'm not trying to be a jerk off now or add to our argument, I think Richard had gay sex with this guy.
How else could he be this broken up?
Right, I
Like,
mean,
this is a guy.
That's so not true.
But Richard, you're crying. First of all, what kind of crazy hillbilly scenario lends itself to where you would have a phone number on this guy, your best friend in Missouri?
No, he moved.
A phone number.
There's no phones in
No.
wherever he went.
This was
Do you ever
years
think
ago.
he was trying to get away from you?
I didn't even have a phone number back then. When I lived in Missouri, I lived in a warehouse. I had no phone, barely had a bathroom.
Right.
And he moved to the Virgin Islands to go on a boat tour and just to kind of live life and enjoy life and live on a boat. So he didn't really have contact information.
You never had a gay incident with this guy.
Never,
You
ever,
ever see him
ever.
naked?
Never.
But doesn't
Never
it
saw
sort of
him
indicate
naked.
to you you're not that important to him?
No, he said he was like real broken up when he emailed me. He was like, he goes, I can't believe, I just found you. I saw you on the internet. And
But why
he said he's been looking
why
for
did he
me for
break-
years, too.
But you,
I mean,
He's
it's
been
just
looking for you for years. And wait.
It's like The Notebook.
And you know what I did? This is you guys are going to bust on me on this.
What did he do?
What are we going to freak out over?
Okay, about 3 or 4 years ago, like I know his full name, so I called everybody with that name in like several states in the United States to see if it was him. I looked up information, and it was like 50 or 60 different guys with his name. And a lot of them just hung up on me.
I got to tell you something, Howard.
Yeah.
I had a female friend who was telling me a story like this, where some good friend of hers left, and she was all teary-eyed.
Right. Now she's a
lesbian. She's out of the closet.
Of course she is.
Hello, is this the Patrick Boyd Anderson who knows Richard Christie? No!
That's how it went. Yeah.
Hi, is this
By the way, pictures of Richard's dirty apartment are now on HowardStern.com, and you will throw up.
Can I say something about the dirty apartment real quick?
Yeah.
Will was telling me, I'm sorry, Fred, Will was telling me that Richard came to him and said Will has a maid that he uses, so he asked him for the recommendation of the maid. Will gave him the number. Will said he went to the apartment, and he said, do not call my maid. She's a cleaning woman, not a slave. She doesn't do crime scenes. I don't want you embarrassing me by using my maid.
I would tip her good.
I had a question for Richard. This is a friend from back home.
Yeah. Well, like the greatest times of my life, and
But he's from your hometown.
No, from when I lived in Missouri. I lived
you didn't
in
have family there or other friends that you might have been able to contact.
Nobody.
Have you ever seen Interview with a Vampire? Do you remember a blotchy gay guy who saw it with you?
By the way, I don't want anyone to think Richard is gay. He says he's not gay. We should accept that. You know that, Artie. But Richard will be getting his asshole bleached on the air in just a few weeks. And, I just want you to know that.
Just in time for a reunion.
But you guys have never...
Yeah, it'll be pre-reunion.
You've never had a dear friend that, like, when you think about them, you think about all these great memories, all the fun times you had?
Look, I'm telling you.
I never have dear memories.
When that girl was carrying on over some girl she lost, I was like, that's weird. To be crying and carrying because you lost a girlfriend?
Well, this guy, we had it was really the time of my life, that time that I lived in Missouri.
Loved him.
Listen to me.
Not as a gay guy, I didn't love him, but I love him as a friend.
You're crying again, aren't you?
He's not dead.
Let him talk about his friend so we can see if these two.
Tell us how you
Tell us what you love about him.
Well, just that we used to work together, and we just had so many great times. He was such a good friend, and
what kind of times? Tell us about.
Well, when I explain it, it's goofy shit. Like we used to make horror movies together, and low budget movies, and we used to watch him and his wife and me would watch horror movies together. And
imagine if you had found out he was dead. How would you have felt?
I would have flipped out. That's why it's so sad, and why, like when I opened that email, I just flipped out because I thought he had passed away or something. It was hard. I sound like a fag right now. Sorry.
You've never sounded faggier.
And what's going to happen when you two meet up?
On a fucking...
Do you ever think about all the good times you've missed out on with this guy?
Yeah, kind of. But he explained, we've talked a lot since he contacted me, and he's had a great life. He's married now with kids, and
he missed out on the birth of his kids.
Yeah.
You could have been like an uncle. Or,
I could have been giving birth to your kid.
Look at the tears coming down.
Oh, he's crying. Yeah. I love it.
But it's never too late. I'm just glad. I got to thank Al Gore for inventing the internet, because otherwise he would have never been able to find me.
All right, Richard, congratulations. Get that apartment.
You should. What about thanking Ben Franklin for inventing electricity?
Absolutely.
And
I got to
thank you for all inventions.
And I got to thank you, Howard, because the way he found me was he found out that I worked on this show.
All right, Richard, congratulations. I got to move along. There's your toilet. There's Richard's toilet, Artie.
Oh my Lord!
Oh, Richard, come on, dude.
How can that girlfriend of yours goes to this apartment?
Well, I got to thank her. She's the greatest girl in the whole world. She cleaned up the toilet yesterday, cleaned the whole apartment. I came home from the gigs this weekend, and the apartment was spotless. She's awesome.
Let's say this: you're the sloppiest gay guy I've ever met. Usually they don't like.
Well, that's a overreaction.
All those pictures are on HowardStern.com. HowardStern.com. HTVOD.com. Let me ask you something. This friend, you loved him so much, and this will be my last question to you about it because I am running late. It's 10:35 already, and I have to go. But this friend, if he was dying and you could save him by blowing him, would you do it?
Wow, that's a tough question.
If you, the only thing to save his life, the only thing to save his life would be to blow him.
The only obvious answer is no.
You wouldn't blow your friend that you love so much that
you'd
you're
let him
crying
die.
I'd cry
to keep him alive.
I'd cry as he passed away, and I would hope he would understand.
All right, so maybe the only way he can live is if he blows you.
Would you let him blow you?
I might let him kiss around the head or something.
I mean, you've let. Well,
I wouldn't be able to get hard. I mean, he'd just have to suck on my flaccid penis. But if it was life or death, maybe I'd let him do that. I'm not.
All right, Richard, go ahead.
I'm not gay.
Go invent some great comedy, and God bless you, and thank you very much.
Love everybody here.
Love you too.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
Will you cry like that for us?
No. He hasn't had any good times with us.
imagine this poor guy. He's like, I got rid of him.
Dude, what has happened to you?
I don't know. I'm emotional.
Is this the result of just having an emotional week last week as well?
No. I was real emotional, like, when this guy emailed me.
Now, how long ago was it when he emailed you?
About 3 or 4 weeks ago.
So you're back in contact, pretty much?
Yeah.
Why, when you rehash some of the great memories you've had, does it get you all choked up? It's not as if he died, though.
No, I know, but we had so much fun, and are you trying to make me cry now, too?
No, I'm just saying he clearly means a lot
I know,
to you.
but when I talk about this, I get all choked up, but I had so many good times then, and it's just like when you have a best friend and you don't know what happened to him, and you remember so many good times.
And so it's almost tears of joy that you've reconnected with him?
Yeah, absolutely.
It conjures up a lot of... Coupled with the whole Artie thing, you've become an emotional man.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with it. Well, if that would have never happened, I'd still be choked up.
Okay, well, put that aside, though. This might help you actually get back in the ring with Artie, so to speak.
Why?
It just seems like when you come in now, he's starting to wear down a little bit. Like, he wants to make fun of you.
Don't want anything to affect the show.
But I'm saying, like, this could be an olive branch being extended because the fact that he was even willing to address that you're in the... I'm saying he's starting to come around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad at somebody forever.
All right.
I don't stay mad at anybody forever. I don't stay mad at people for more than a day or two.
You're a big softy, dude.
Yeah, I guess
so. I always knew you were. I knew you were a loving guy, but I didn't know you were a tear guy.
Come on, I'll miss you after all this is done.